Welcome to SportsbookReview.com. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And today's show is about the top 10 teams and coaches against the spread as favorites over the last 3 seasons in college football. Let's go ahead and fire this thing up. We're going to go 10-1, and then we're going to give you some honorable mentions that have some different circumstances than we would have liked to put on this list. So let's start us off with Kirk Ferentz and the Iowa Hawkeyes. 15-10-1 against the spread over the last 3 seasons as a favorite. That is a 60% win clip, incredibly profitable. 24-2 straight up, always good. But 4-3-1 in 2017, 7-2 in 2018. Last year, turning back down, 4-5. We'll see if they can rebound from that. But we like Iowa.
That 7-2 team was super talented. Had 2 tight ends go in the first round of the draft. Just a really loaded with talent team.
And because they were underdogs favorites 9 times, they were 9 times favorites again in 2019. They were...
The books caught up to them a little bit.
Yeah, they really did. They really did. So with that said, let's move on. Number 9, Ken Niumatalolo, Navy, 14-9. So that's not a ton of games, but still a 60.9% win clip. 18-5 straight up as a favorite. 5-4 in 2017, 1-4 in 2018, and then in 2019, 8-1 against the spread as a favorite. They were not valued enough. We'll say that.
No. Yeah, coming off of a very disappointing season in 2018, this team took the value in 2019 and ran with it like they stole something.
And we're still favored in 9 games.
Yep.
So even as bad as they were the year before that, they took off last year. Number 8, not your favorite guy in the world, Kirby Smart and Georgia. Look, 24-15 against the spread as a favorite over the last 3 seasons. That's pretty good, especially once the number catches up to you, and they were still able to exceed it, especially against some of those smaller teams. Obviously, they understand style points matter, right? So you're going to cover more. 61.5%, 35-4 straight up. 9-4 against the spread as a favorite in 2017, 7-6 in 2018, 8-5 in 2019. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's profitable every year.
Yep, it is.
They're pretty consistent at this point.
Talked about them the very first video that we did when we covered just against the spread. And my fear of looking at this trend is I think the East was abysmal when he took over.
Yeah.
Now, this is not a knock on him. He's an excellent recruiter and has more talent than anybody that they are going to play every year on their schedule. It is, at some point in time, Florida and Tennessee are going to get better.
Yes.
And that is going to help affect this number.
Yeah, I think so. I think you are correct
and his
on
trend.
That. With that said, number 7.
This is a guy that I started off not liking a lot at all, and he has grown on me. Yeah, so it's just because I don't like somebody now doesn't mean I'll hate him forever.
Brian Kelly and Notre Dame, 20-12-2 against the spread as a favorite, 62.5%. They are 31-3 as a favorite over the last 3 seasons straight up. 7-5 against the number in 2017, 5-4-2 in 2018. That's when everybody really caught up to them.
That's right.
Last year, 8-3 against the spread. Now, that was, obviously, after the playoff disappointment, all that kind of mess, kind of undervalued a little bit, but still favored because it's Notre Dame. Because of the undervaluing, really took advantage of it last season. 8-3 against the spread as a favorite. That's pretty
strong.
Crazy.
31-3 straight up just tells you when they're supposed to beat somebody, they beat somebody.
Yes. Yes, they certainly do. Number 6. We've talked about him in basically every video. Lance Leipold, Buffalo. I hope I'm saying that right. It might be Lance Leipold, but I think it's Leipold. I remember watching a bunch of Mac games because I bet on a lot of Mac games, and I think I said his name right. But we'll figure that out as the season progresses, of course. But the Buffalo Bulls, 17-10 against the spread the last 3 seasons as a favorite. Now, he's good as an underdog. He's good as a favorite. He's just good, period.
Yeah, just bet on him. You're going to do fine.
You got that right. 63% cover percentage, 20-7 straight up as a favorite, 4-2 against the number in 2017, 7-4 in 2018, 6-4 last year. I mean, this is a good team.
That's
They're
right.
Just always
and you
well
can
coached.
see how the books caught up to them. They were a favorite only 6 times, which is why they've made all of the list the first year that he was there, 2017. 2018, 2019, the book said, we got to make this guy a favorite a lot more often.
Yes.
This team is just too talented, too good, and they're still covering a lot of them.
Oh, yes. Yes, they certainly are. Number 5, Kyle Whittingham and the Utah Utes, 22-12 as a favorite against the number since 2017, 64.7%. They were 7-2 against the number in 2017, 6-5 in 2018. Last year, even with all the hype that surrounded them with that defensive line and everything else, still went 9-5 against the spread as a favorite.
Same trend as Buffalo, as, we're a favorite 9 times one year, and then by the end of it, they're a favorite 14 times.
Yes.
That's just the book saying we got to respect this team a little more.
Oh, yeah.
They're not making the numbers crazy because they don't put up style points, and they're not impressive in that way. But you got to make this team a favorite more than they're not.
Oh, yes.
And they just been creeping that number up over and over. You're going to keep getting value on Utah until the books catch up to it. And I don't know when that's going to be.
Speaking of value,
I love this team.
Tulane Green Wave down in New Orleans. Willie Fritz.
Well, I love Willie. Let's say this.
Yes.
I have no affinity to Tulane at all.
Oh, don't act like you don't like Louisiana. Come on.
No, I like Louisiana, but that has nothing to do with it. New Orleans, hell of a place to go to school, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd be very good. The academics in Tulane are way better
Really
than
good.
they should be.
Should be.
Well, yeah.
What's wrong with
You put up on 18 to 24-year-olds in New Orleans and say,
That's a
go
good
be
point.
smart at school?
They got a great medical school. I can't talk this evening.
To me, that's a little scary. Sidebar. I don't know that I want my doctor went to New Orleans because I know how I hang out in New Orleans. Anyway, neither here nor there.
I think if you live down there, it might be a little different. Right?
Well, maybe not. Not at 18. Not at 18. It would have been.
definitely not.
Damn sure not at 21. Willie Fritz, what he has done at Tulane with the academic restrictions of trying to get smart kids to play football and to get into school there.
And to fight off all of the SEC teams.
I was just about to say, you're in the
talent.
heart of the SEC, and you got some Texas schools reaching into Louisiana to come get your kids. Man, what he's done, crazy impressive. Just crazy impressive.
13-7-1 against the spread as a favorite. So only favored 21 times over the last 3 years, but 65% win clip there. 16-5 straight up, 3-2-1 in 2017, 3-4 in 2018. They dipped back down last year.
7-1.
They were a favorite 8 times and covered 7 of them.
All of them, man. Yeah.
Ooh.
What Willie's doing now, and they went from a triple option gimmick, in my opinion, offense to last year. What'd they do? He said, I'm gonna bring some spread option guy to come in here, and we're gonna basically soup this triple option feature. Teams couldn't.
They can run
the
and
quality
pass,
of teams
and it's unbelievable
that they are playing against couldn't figure them out. If you're a Power 5 team, don't schedule this team as a non-con game. It's just not smart. If you've got if you're gonna do it week 1. Because if you don't have but 1 week to prepare, Willie Fritz gonna catch you.
Now you are dead on about that.
Scott Hall, is that the OC, the young
Will
kid?
Hall.
Will Hall.
Will Hall.
Willie Fritz, Will Hall. I should remember that.
Yeah.
Scott Hall's an old wrestler. Totally different guy. Totally different guy. This is Razor Ramon. Not the same person. He's not calling plays at all.
No, he's not.
He's not inventive at all. Scott Hall, Will Hall, and Willie Fritz. Man, what they're doing in Tulane is crazy fun. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Yes, it is.
Fun to bet on and a lot of fun to watch.
Yes, it most certainly is. It most certainly is. All right. Number 3. We may not like him, but you got to respect it.
Well, I mean, yeah, and he's a favorite all the damn time.
Dabo Sweeney and the Clemson Tigers, 27-13-1 against the spread as a favorite. That's 67.5%. That is crazy profitable. 40-1 straight up as a favorite.
It just tells you they just don't play anybody.
No, they do not.
I mean, how does Floyd Mayweather get his record? He just handpicks all his opponents.
Pretty much. 8-4-1 in 2017 as a favorite. 8-6 in 2018 as a favorite. 2019, 11-3 as a favorite.
Yeah, had a couple of losses.
We're only an underdog one time. Did not cover.
Didn't cover that one.
Did not cover that one. But either way,
got beat pretty bad in that one, I think.
Yeah, it was not good. It was not good. Now what are you gonna do? You're playing on somebody's home field, you know.
Okay.
for those that are watching for the first time, Chris an LSU guy. I'm an Alabama guy. It is what it is. We respect everybody.
No, we don't.
I respect everybody.
We do not. We do not.
If you enjoy these videos, by the way, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure that you subscribe to the video and share the show out.
It's all in good fun.
Yes, we have a good time here.
I can revel in the fact that it's okay to hate people because of sports.
Yes.
It's not okay to hate people for any other reason.
Most certainly.
It's okay to hate people because of sports. That's why most people hate me.
Number 2 on the list, Craig Bohl.
This one shocked the hell out of me.
And the Wyoming Cowboys. You want to talk about somebody that covers when they're supposed to?
Yeah.
14-6 against the spread as a favorite.
That's insane.
Last 3 seasons, 70%. 70%.
And consistently the same favorite. I mean, it's not like the books have caught him. It's not like he's had an elite team one year that skews the numbers. I mean, he is the model of consistency here.
Oh, most certainly. And on top of that, straight up.
Oh, yeah.
19-1 as a favorite. And you're not a favorite a lot at Wyoming, but remember he came from North Dakota State. He knew what he was doing there. He knows what he's doing here. Went 5-2 against the number in 2017, 4-2 against the number as a favorite in 2018, 5-2 again in 2019. When they are supposed to win, they win and they cover. Period. So that is somebody to pay attention to as we go forward. Just saying. That's what all this is, by the way, to give you an idea of who you need to be paying attention to throughout the 2020 season and further on. So we'll keep up with the trends for you. We'll keep you informed. Just hit that subscribe button. Number 1, this is one of your favorite people on the planet.
Yep.
Bill Clark. If you've watched any of our videos before this, Bill Clark and the UAB Blazers, Chris has a certain affinity in his heart for that man. He's incredibly respectable. That's about as much as you can say. I mean, he's just unbelievable.
17-7-1.
70.8% winning clip.
That seems pretty good, right?
21-4 straight up. Yeah, not bad. 3-1-1 in 2017 as a favorite. Only a favorite 5 times that year.
Small number.
But then they caught up to him, or at least they thought they did.
It didn't matter.
Went 7-3 against the spread as a favorite in 2018. Favored again 10 times last year, 7-3 in 2019 against the number. That is nuts.
This guy's just an elite character man.
Completely undervalued.
Yes.
That's the best
way
to put it.
He's just at a really small school, at a really small football program that 90% of the people in the country, if you're not in the South, if you don't follow football in the South, you don't know they exist.
No, you got that right. You have got that right. All right, let's move into the, what can we say? Honorable mention?
Sure.
I guess you could put. Different circumstances here.
There you go.
Right. Coaches at new schools. We got 2 of them. Lane Kiffin at Florida Atlantic the last 3 years was 19-11 against the spread as a favorite. That is a 63.3% winning percentage. Pretty damn good. Mike Norvell at Memphis, 20-12-1.
He will not do that at Florida State.
No, I do not believe so.
At first.
62.5% covering there. Lane, of course, going over to Ole Miss. Mike Norvell going to Florida State. Now let's move on to the next section here. Teams with 2 different head coaches. So I didn't want to include these teams in it because obviously we wanted to talk about coaches here, but these teams, obviously, there's still talent regardless of who is coaching there, right?
Correct.
So Utah State over the last 3 seasons. Matt Wells, he left for Texas Tech. They bring back Gary Anderson, who Gary Anderson went to Wisconsin, then went to Oregon State. Did not do well at Oregon State.
Kind of floated around all over.
Yeah, floated around, but he came back to Utah State. He's in the boosters' pockets there and whatnot. So obviously he had some friends that wanted him back in that position. 16-6 as a favorite.
Yep.
Over the last 3 seasons. That's pretty crazy. 19-3 straight up. So they win when they're supposed to. Kevin Sumlin and Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M. Again, another one of those where when you're a favorite, you're expected to cover, and they cover 16-8 against the number, 66.7% there. Dana Holgorsen and Neil Brown at West Virginia. This one kind of surprised me. I don't know why, but they're both coaches that I like. They're a lot different from each other.
They're a lot different from each other. And Neil Brown, we had no real expectation last year because that's his first step into big boy football. And he was taking over a team that had lost a lot of talent.
Oh, just
so he was. There was a whole bunch of need to remake the team in your own image because Holgo's way of coaching is way different.
Way different. Yeah.
Mr. Neil Brown's way of coaching. I like both these guys a lot. By the way, I find Dana to be one of the most entertaining people on the planet.
Red Bull and the Skullet. So yes. 11-6-2 against the spread over the last 3 seasons. That's 64.7%. That is absurd. And finally, Scott Frost and Josh Heupel at Central Florida, UCF, whatever you would like to call them. They are the Knights. They were 21-14-1 against the spread over the last 3 years. 33-3 straight up, though. So if you want to toss them in some money line parlays, not a bad way to go about it.
Yep.
6-4-1 against the number in 2017. 9-3 in 2018. Last year, a little bit of a downtrend, 6-7, dealt with a bunch of injuries, all that kind of
injury problems.
And one team that has a second-year head coach going into his 3rd season to pay attention to. If you want to bet on him, this will probably be a good bet for a long time. You got to make sure that number has not gone just astronomical all the time.
He's going to get some squirrely numbers.
Yes, he is. Billy Napier, Louisiana, 11-6 against the spread as a favorite the last 2 seasons. Went 7-4 last year, 4-2 the year before that.
He covers a lot of those squirrely numbers still.
Oh, yes, he does.
It's just scary.
You got that right. You have got that right. I think that's going to wrap it up for the top 10 teams / coaches against the spread as a favorite over the last 3 seasons in college football. If you want to see more sports content, visit sbrpicks.com or click the link in the description to stay on top of all the content SBR has for you. For sportsbookreview.com, I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the show.